Alright, here's the third battle, the third, fourth, and fifth battle of Mainstreet Coliseum. You're battling Tomboy Melody here, and she has three weaknesses to flying, so you might want to use a flying type to start off. And she has a Celia, which is weak to thunder, and she's got two fighting weaknesses too. So flying and fighting are probably going to be your best. Actually, she's got three weaknesses to fighting. Sorry about that. Celia is also weak. So I send out Pidgeot first, and I get lucky, and Machop comes out. And so I just so you know, two of these battles, 3 and 5, are both just me basically aerial acing. So these are pretty boring because they send out perfect Pokemon for me to take down. And so there goes Machop. One hit. And out comes Butterfree, who's also has a weakness to flying. So that goes down easy too. And then the last Pokemon is Jigglypuff, which it's not a problem or anything. It's just that is only weak to fighting. So it takes 2 hits to bring it down with an Aerial Ace. And it uses Flash here, which is a really weird move. I barely ever see it unless I'm like using it in a Pokemon Game Boy game. So I just Aerial Ace to finish it off because I don't want to risk a Facade and then have it miss. And so Jigglypuff goes down, and that'll basically end the battle with Tomboy Melody. And so these battles are really easy. So I win the battle, and I might start using my other passes just as a side note, my custom passes, just because using these rental passes is so boring, just because it's not even enjoyable for me, and I want to have fun when I'm making this, so probably after Main Street I'll be using my own passes. And so this trainer has kind of a mishmash of random Pokemon, and it's got flying. You'll probably want to send out either flying or fire to start off with because of the 2 bug weaknesses. And so I just send out Charmeleon first because I always send out Pidgeot and it gets kind of old just using him. And so Elena sends out Chingling, which is a psychic type. And so I realized that Charmeleon has Bite, and so I just decided to use that and see how good it is on Charmeleon. And it actually does a pretty good amount of damage. It gets him more than halfway. And so then Chingling uses Uproar, which is a pretty dumb move. I mean, it's not that powerful, and it's really only good if you're using a strategy that you really just don't want to get put to sleep, or if there's a Darkrai on the field. And so I just bite again, and it goes down pretty easy. And so next she sends out Lickitung, which is, it's not even, I don't even think it did anything to me. It maybe like used Screech on me, but it was more annoying than it was actually a good Pokemon just because it has so much defense and a lot of HP. So it does like probably about a third of its health. And then it tries to use me first, which fails because it went second. And so I just Fire Fang again, basically. Nothing really much to narrate. And so it's almost all the way. It's about 2/3 down, and then it uses the stupid berry. Heals its health. It's just trying to drag this out as long as it can. It uses me first again, fails again. Then I just decide to use Dragon Rage because I know it'll do 40 damage no matter what, and I just want to see how much it did. And it does about as much as a Fire Fang did. And so it uses Screech, which actually hits me. And my defense goes down a lot, but doesn't matter that much. Because it doesn't seem like he's going to be attacking me. And so I just use Fire Fang and finish it off. And so out comes Dustox, which I just Fire Fang and it goes down almost all the way. So then it just uses Moonlight, which heals it, but not enough so it will survive another Fire Fang. It would need to go all the way up. So I just Fire Fang again to finish it off. So these battles are pretty boring, but it'll get more exciting as the game goes on because naturally it gets harder. I would say the hardest Coliseum actually in the normal game would probably be Neon, just because you don't really know what's going to happen and you gotta improvise with what you get. And so, another battle won, and so now I'm going up against youthful couple Ariel, only she doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend or whatever with her. And so it's got 3 water Pokemon, 3 electric weaknesses, and 3 flying or fire weaknesses. And I just decided to send out Pidgeot because it's got just like it's probably the strongest of these Pokemon. So we're basically the same trainer. We're pretty identical. And so Pidgeot just uses an Aerial Ace on Weepinbell, and yeah, it goes down in one hit, I think. And so this is another one of these battles where I just basically Aerial Ace. Don't really do anything else. So it sends out Wormadam, which is bug and grass, which is 4 times weak to Aerial Ace, and so that was not his best move. And so Wormadam goes down too, very easily. And then the only one that really even can take the Aerial Ace, I think, is Poliwhirl. And Poliwhirl is just a water type. It's got some good defense though and pretty good HP, I think. Never really used one. And so it does a good amount of damage. And so then Poliwhirl puts up a substitute, gets rid of a little bit of its HP, and then it gets it right back. Well, a little bit of it back, actually. Sorry, I thought it had a citrus berry, but it's a guava berry. And so I just use Facade just to mix it up a little bit to get rid of the substitute. So the substitute disappears. Comes Poliwhirl again. And Poliwhirl uses Body Slam, and I thought I was going to run out of time here, so I was praying for it not to paralyze Pidgeot, but of course it did. Which actually turned out to be an okay thing. And so I Aerial Ace. And so it uses Bubble Beam, which does like 2 damage to me. Barely does any. And so I Aerial Ace. Poliwhirl's left at about 2 HP. So now I just go for Facade once again just to mix things up. And then it pulls something really stupid, like I'm already paralyzed, so I can't fall asleep. And so that was just not a good move. And yeah, that's really the battle, guys. Alright. And so coming next will be probably the Mainstreet Coliseum Leader. And I will go into more detail about the features on the main menu, like probably the Nintendo Wi-Fi and the gear and whatnot, all those features. And just because I don't want to start end a Coliseum and start one. And so, here, just quick saving. And I'll see you guys later.